Hey everyone, thank you for joining in. I hope I'm audible. Can I get a thumbs up? Great, thank you for letting me know. So yeah, I'd like to start by introducing myself. So I'm Sushant, founder of SalesBlink, and I'm here to take you through the process of setting up your SalesBlink account and starting your outreach. For any questions, you can at the bottom right you'll see a Q&A section. Feel free to ask any questions that you might have, and I'll try my best to answer them at the right time, when that part comes up. And anyways, we'll be taking all the questions at the end. Apart from that, feel free to there's a group chat open, and feel free to write anything over there. Unfortunately, also, we do not record these training webinars because it is slightly different every time based on what questions are being asked. So ideally, feel free to ask any questions and hope to help you guys out. So let's begin. On the bottom left, you should be able to see the agenda for today. So we'll first start with email deliverability basics. Then we'll see how you can connect your email address, upload leads, and launch a email sequence. Then how you can monitor your reports and have some improvements done. And then lastly, we'll take some questions. And as you can see, that is the agenda on the bottom left. Again, on the bottom right, you can see the Q&A section. Feel free to ask any questions you might have. So let's dive right in. I'll just share my screen. Yeah, I hope everyone can see my screen. So starting with email deliverability basics, right? What is email deliverability? Email deliverability is basically the your email address's ability to land in inbox, right? If your emails are not landing in the inbox, then what's the point of sending any emails, right? So how you can make sure that your emails land in inbox? Firstly, what some key components that affect your email deliverability is sender reputation, right? So this is mostly managed by ESPs like your email service provider, which can be Gmail, Outlook, and others. And also different things matter. So for example, if you have house high bounce rates, that means the emails that you are sending are bouncing off, can harm your email reputation. Another thing is that if you are not getting enough replies, that also harms your email sender reputation, right? Apart from that, email content. If your email content has spam keywords like let's say free or give me some money or you can earn ASAP, some things like this, your emails would be flagged and it would be marked as spam. Again, that would mean that your emails are not going to inbox first, and second, it will also ruin the sender reputation because it would mean that you're sending spam emails. Next up is recipient engagement. So if you are not getting any replies, if the leads you are sending the emails to are not replying to you and not basically engaging with your emails, then that would mean that your emails are essentially, you know, soon would start going to spam. Because just think about it, if no one wants to reply to you, then the email service providers would automatically start sending your emails to spam. You can solve most of these problems using email Warmup as well, and we'll cover that in a while. Next up is technical setup. So technical setup has three things: SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. We have setup guides for all of these, but essentially you need to set these up to ensure that the emails you send are authenticated and the email servers can authenticate that the email is coming from the actual person and is not a spam or a mass email, right? it is a bit more technical than this, honestly, but from the purpose of, us sending emails as, marketers or salespeople, you should just be aware that three things are required to be set up. Next up, list hygiene and segmentation. Make sure that you're sending emails to the correct audience and you're not spamming. You really don't want to send emails to anyone who wouldn't expect to receive those emails, right? So for example, you wouldn't be sending any emails. You wouldn't be sending emails to people who are, if you're sending a marketing course, you won't be sending the emails to developers and so on, right? So these are some things you can keep in mind and you should keep in your mind. Any questions so far? Okay, I see a question. Is there a testing tool where we can make sure that DMARC, SPF, and others are set up correctly? So one way to do that is using SalesBlink's report, where you can do that. Then another really cool tool that we recommend is MX Toolbox, which you can use to check if everything is set up correctly. So we recommend SalesBlink's email deliverability reports and these tools. This was a question by R. I don't have his full name, but yeah. Hope this makes sense. Shall we move on? Anyone has any questions or shall we move on? I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Okay, thank you, Ratish. Thank you. Let's move on now. So next up, so these are some things in email deliverability that you should keep in your mind, right? Now moving on to some more strategies for improving your email deliverability. Firstly, personalization. Make sure to personalize the emails that are being sent to your leads and recipients, right? If you are sending the same email to everyone, that also is considered as a spam email. So ideally, you should have as much personalization as possible. You can use Blink GPT AI as well to personalize the emails that are being sent. Next up, warm up your email account. Start with a lower volume of emails and basically increase gradually and use the warm up feature to basically ensure that you have some recipient engagement. The way email warm up works is that, and we'll cover it more in depth later on, but the way basically email warm up works is that the emails you send are the emails would be automatically sent from your email address to other people in the pool of sales who also enable warm up, and you would get reply which would give you some positive reputation, right? Next up, limiting with random delays. So you can set up using some delay between each individual emails that are being sent, because just think about it, if you are sending hundreds or thousands of email a minute or two, that would mean that you are spamming, right? So ideally there should be a random delay just to play around the rules of these email service providers to ensure that your emails land in inbox. Lastly, and very importantly, you should set up your custom domain for email tracking. This is important because your emails might go to spam, because by default a tracking domain which SalesBlink provides you is being used, and it might be flagged as spam already. And because many other people are using SalesBlink to send emails, and maybe they are sending spam emails, which would make our sending domain as a spam domain, right? So you should consider connecting your custom domain. I'll just share the link to this very helpful and very useful document that everyone should know about before they start their outreach in the chat over here. Meanwhile, I'll just check if anyone has any questions. Okay, seems like there are no questions. Okay, I see a question by Jonathan. Can we use custom variables for personalization? Right. Yes, Jonathan, you can do that, and I'll talk more about this. Great. So moving on to the next part, connecting your email address or email sender. How you can do that? This is the SalesBlink's dashboard, and over here in outreach, this is the first step that you need to take before you start your outreach. Head over to email senders and click on add sender. Right. Once you click on add sender, you will be able to add an email address. You can add your Google email address, Outlook email address, free Gmail, SMTP, IMAP, or any other email address. Essentially, it's all up to you. You can also upload bulk email addresses if they are of SMTP, IMAP nature. Right. I'll just cancel this for now. As you can see, I have a couple of email senders connected already. Once your email sender is connected, what you'd want to do is that you'd want to actually, let me just show you how the setup would look like basically. When you're connecting your email sender, you'll see these few settings. Max emails per day. This is the max number of emails that would be sent in a 24-hour period with this email address. So if you're just starting out, keep it something low like 30 or 20. And if your email address is warmed up already, then you can, move on. And if you are getting replies, then you can, keep going on. Then there's this option to warm up your email address, and I'll show you how the report looks like, but you should keep this enabled. Inbox settings, show the replies to this email in inbox. With this checked, any replies that you get from the emails that are sent with SalesBlink will have will basically be shown in the inbox. Then set an email signature. So you can create a new email signature over here. You can add emojis, images, and whatever you like, and then set it up. And then finally, using of a custom domain. So you can add any custom domain, and the help documentation is also available for that. Depending on where you have purchased your domain from, you will need to set this up, right? And once all of this is done, you can hit finish. And since the warm-up is enabled, I'll just show you the report for how a warm-up looks like. Seems like there's some issue with my internet connection. It's taking a while to load. Meanwhile, I'll just check the questions that we have. So SP has this question, do we send emails from our own domains? Yes, SP, you connect your own email address. Basically, it might be a Gmail email address or Outlook email address and so on, and you send the emails using that. So there's a very interesting question by R. The main domain I have set up for sending is working on SalesBlink, but I want to redirect it to my main domain. So if someone looks after seeing the email sent from and get to go to my domain landing page, great, you are on the right track. In other words, my sending domain is different in case I burn it. Great strategy. The problem I'm having is that even though I've set up the redirect at my host, the page shows is a SalesBlink page. I think this is R because you are using a custom domain connected to SalesBlink, right? What you should go for instead is a custom subdomain. When you use a custom subdomain and you are sending emails from the domain, then you can redirect the domain to your main website, main landing page, while the custom subdomain would be used for tracking emails. I'm pretty sure that this is the problem. Currently, you must be using the custom domain instead of custom subdomain for tracking the emails. Peter has a similar question. For my domains used in my 3 accounts per domain, the web page for the domain should be redirected to the main website. How to do the redirect? 301 permanent. Yes, Peter, you should do a permanent redirect. I think 301 corresponds to permanent redirect only. You would have to redirect based on your your DNS provider. So usually if you have purchased it from GoDaddy or Cloudflare or Google domains, or from wherever you have purchased the domain, you would be basically adding a redirect over there. They would have help docs to help you set this up, right? So yeah, my page has finally decided to load. Over here, you can see that my warm up has been working, and I had it disabled for a while now, and I just enabled it, and one email has already been sent already. These are the recent warm up logs: email sent, email received, replies received, spam to inbox, and so on. And I would also take Peter's question: how does SalesBlink do the warm up? Does it use other customers' email to do the warm up, or do we have our own inboxes? So we don't have any of our own inboxes, and I'll just touch upon how the warm-up process works. So we have it all covered in our help docs basically, and I'll just open it up. So in general, why do emails go to spam? Emails are not getting opened. Emails are not getting replies, less than 2% reply rate at least. Emails have already been going for to spam for a while. Email subject line on body has some spam keywords. Domain has technical setup issues, or the link in the body is marked unsafe by ESPs. You can fix this again by using a custom domain. Now, how does the email warmup works? We have over 30,000 email addresses connected and opted in for email warmup at SalesBlink. So SalesBlink would send email to each other, okay, automatically. Recipients open the emails of each other. That increases your open rate. Recipients clicks on links in email of the body. That increases the engagement again. And then email addresses reply to each other's email, ensuring that there's a high recipient engagement, right? And finally, and most importantly, email addresses move email of each other from spam to inbox. So let's say if I am there in the pool and Peter is also there in the email warm pool, my email address and Peter's email address. Now, if an email is being sent during the time of warm up to Peter's email address and it ends up in spam folder, then warm up would automatically pick my email from Peter's spam folder and move it to the inbox. And same thing would be done if an email I receive during the warm up process lands in the spam folder. So this is how warm up basically works and helps you increase your reputation. So Ashish has a interesting question. I'm using Ashish at xyz.com. Great. This is a custom domain, right? Yes, XYZ is your custom domain. What is a tracking domain? Another new domain for tracking. So Ashish, custom domain basically corresponds to any domain. You don't have to buy another domain. It means that any domain can be used to track the email opens and link clicks. This is our help doc for custom domains for email tracking. What you can do is you can, and it is highly recommended, you use a subdomain. So you can use a domain like, for example, abc.xyz.com, right? And you need to set it up on your records and connect it with SalesBlink. That would improve your email deliverability, right? Hope this answers your question, Ashish. So I think you, Raj, and some people are asking questions in chat. Guys, can you instead ask questions in the Q&A section? That would help me, take the questions, and I won't miss out any questions. right? Guys, please feel free to ask the questions in the Q&A section. Okay, I see that there are a couple of questions. Like Yuvraj has this question: what are spam keywords? Right. I would love to take this at the right point in time. Please ask it in the Q&A section. So moving on, our email sender is now connected, as you can see, and yeah, let's start some outreach then and move on to the next step. So next step is uploading leads. Right. For uploading leads, you head over to in outreach, you go to lists and you basically click on new list over here. You have two options: either upload the list via CSV or upload it via a Google Sheet. You can paste the link of your Google Sheet and basically upload, list leads from there, right? Import the leads from there. So what I'll do over here is that upload via CSV, download this sample file, and let me just open up the sample file and show it how it looks to you. Yeah, I hope everyone can see this Excel that I've opened. This is a CSV file, the sample file that I downloaded. Over here, we can see that there is some sample data. There are the columns have some fields like first name, last name, and so on. And there is some sample data, which is basically my information added over here. What I can do is that I can add more leads in this CSV, right? I'll just pick up some question names from some people in the Q&A section and add their names over here as if they were leads, right? Right. Okay, this should be add in the last name. Next, their email address. I just add some dummy email addresses right now. Right. All are unique email addresses now. And over here, you can see that there's a column for phone number. I honestly don't know your phone number. I just add something random over here. Company name, I do not know this, so I can just put in anything. Ideally, if I would know the company name, then I would add these. LinkedIn profile, maybe we can skip this. You feel free to remove anything from the CSV file that you don't want, and you can add more custom fields where you want. So let's say webinar, yes, 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 no. So this is a custom field that I have added, and I'll show you how you can use these custom fields to personalize the emails that we send. So once this is saved, what I'll do is that I'll upload these. So yeah, as you can see, you can just drag and drop or select your CSV file, hit next. You'll see the data sample, right? Over here, you need to map the variables. I will map the email column, phone number, we can skip. Webinar, you can see that we do not have a webinar column, right? What you can do is that you can just type it out and hit enter to create this. You have this option to remove duplicate leads. And once you're happy with it, you can just hit next. Then there is an option to verify the emails. So this is a very important feature that would help you ensure that your emails do not bounce. The way it does this is that by doing an SMTP verification of the email addresses that you uploaded in the list, and based on that, it would let you know if it is a good email or a bad email. You hit next, you add a name. So I'll just name this list webinar 26 and today's date, basically. Hit next. Now, as you can see, this list has been saved. It has 4 leads. They are verifying right now, and it can take a couple of minutes to verify. So This is how you upload leads. I'll just quickly check how, if we have any questions, and then we'll move on to the next step, which is to launch an email sequence. So Tom has a great question over here. How accurate is the email verification? So Tom, depending on email service providers, our email verification is accurate somewhere around 98 to 99%, right? So Jonathan has a great question. If I paste the link to Google Sheet, will SalesBlink leads be automatically added to SalesBlink as I update the Google Sheet, or will it only be added? Yeah, great question, Jonathan. So we periodically check your Google Sheet every 24 hours, and basically if there are any new leads added in your Google Sheet, then we would basically add it to the SalesBlink list. And also, if that list is connected to a sequence, it would automatically start sending emails, and we'll just look into how you can create a sequence right now. So Ashish, I think you have asked two questions which pretty much mean the same. Yeah, you can completely rely on email verification tool. The email verification tool will give you three statuses: valid, invalid, and risky. Valid are the ones you can definitely send out to. Risky are the ones you can send out to if you are sure that this email does exist. For invalid emails, you should not send any emails. So Peter has another interesting question. So what's the maximum size of for a Google Sheet? So Peter, the maximum size for a Google Sheet is, I believe, 10,000 rows by default, but it can be updated as required. With CSV files in one go, you can upload 5,000 leads. Also, there's another way to upload leads, which is via API if you want to go in bulk. And we also have integrations with Make, Zapier, and all these tools, and you can use those as well. Is it possible to show how to connect SalesBlink via API to a CRM provider such as flowtrack.co? Honestly, this is the first time I am hearing about FlowTrack, so I don't think I can show it to you in this webinar right now. But if FlowTrack has an integration on Zapier or Make.com or Pably Connect, then you can surely bring in your leads from FlowTrack to SalesBlink very easily. So Ashish, you are saying that even after verification, your emails are bouncing and the leads came from Facebook leads. So honestly, that would mean that your Facebook leads are giving you incorrect emails. And while the verification system, you should ensure that you do not send emails to any risky or invalid emails in that case, right? Yuvraj has this question: do you remove duplicates leads? Yes, Yuvraj, as I showed that you have that checklist option, checkbox option to check if you want to remove any duplicate leads, right? Any other questions related to leads right now? I don't think so. Leon has a question from before, and I think that's a great question, so I'll just answer it right away. You should never turn off your warm up. Yes, because let's say you start sending emails today and you're sending 100 emails. Most likely in your first sequence, in your first campaign, you won't be getting many replies, right? Or much engagement. So ideally you should keep your warm up enabled so that you keep getting a good engagement with the leads, right? Yeah, Nate has a good question, which I'll just cover up. Yeah, Peter has a great question about leads. If a duplicate lead is removed, does the history of lead also get removed? No, Peter. If a lead is duplicate, so duplicate means that it already exists in some other list or in the same list, right? If it exists in some other list, then the history of that lead would remain in that other list, and that lead would also remain in that other list. Only in the list that you're uploading will not have that lead which already exists in the other list. Hope this makes sense. Yeah, guys, please don't ask the same questions again and again. I am checking out all the questions and I will answer them at the right point in time, right? I don't want to move ahead and miss out some important parts, right? Yes, Ashish, I am going to cover all the steps. So first step, as you know, is, as I just covered, was to connect the email sender. Second step was to upload leads. And finally, the third step is to launch sequence. So let's move on to the next step then. Yeah. So we were over on this page and let's see if our list is verified first of all. Yeah, it seems like verified, and obviously these emails are incorrect, and you can see that they are marked as invalid while my email is valid and it is marked as valid, right? So email verification is done. That's great. Now we can head over to sequences and let's create a new sequence. Over here, you can see that there are a couple of options. I can use a preset template, right? I can clone an existing sequence that I have created, right? And I can create a sequence from scratch. But who's got time for those things these days? You would rather want to use Blink GPT AI to create and launch your sequence, right? So there are again two ways using Blink GPT AI. One is Blink GPT AI assisted and another one is personalized. Blink GPT AI assisted would help you draft a sequence with cold email templates, while Blink GPT AI personalized would draft personalized cold emails for each lead that you upload. So we can get started off with Blink GPT AI assisted, right? I'll just give it a name. Right, and over here you can see that it is asking us to create an email template. We would first need to add a business offer, give Blink GPT AI a business offer based on which Blink GPT AI will draft the first email for us. So here are some examples of email or sorry, of business offers, and that can be used, but obviously you can use your own. I would love if some people can in the chat write some business offers that they have, and I would, love to answer that. Sorry, I would love to add that and show you how Blink GPT can capture it. Okay, LinkedIn automation. Leon, we would need it to be a bit more than that. It should be something like I offer X service to clients in Y country. Like it's written over here, I want to sell digital marketing services to clients in US or something like that. The more information you give to Blink GPTI, the better it will draft the email and the sequence for you. So I can see that Peter has an interesting one. I promote tickets for an online virtual summit for users of all CRM service systems. Nice. Jonathan has low cost guaranteed recruitment service, free lead generation for 5 months. Great. I'd pick up Jonathan's business offer and I'll just paste it over here as he has written. And I have this option to select language in which I want to select write the email. So it can be English, it can be Russian, or Japanese, or whatever you can think of. We support 200 plus languages, right? So I would stick with English for now, and I will click on draft email. In a couple of seconds, you can see that an email subject line and body has been generated, right? And you can see that there are some variables added automatically by Blink GPT AI. What these are basically, if you recall that we had uploaded first name, last name, email address, and multiple data points of people while uploading the list. So so we can use them now to personalize the emails, right? You can also add more variables. So if you remember, I added a webinar variable. So if I just select this, and you can see that webinar did attend webinar, and then whatever the variable was that we uploaded, right, will be added. If you are not happy with this email that Blink GPT has drafted for you, that's not an issue. I offer low cost guaranteed. You can edit this if you want, or you can just click on draft email again to see what it comes up with, right? And it will add a new email for you, right? Yeah. You can change this a bit as well if you are constantly getting the same. So Toronto Waterloo area, SaaS startups looking for ML engineers for remote, right? I can add this one sentence, and then Blink GPT would draft another email for me, right? I can edit it over here as I want. I can add emojis, links, and whatever is required. Also, optionally, you can add an unsubscribe link over here. As I said, it is optional, and you don't really always need to add it. It's up to you. I think that there was a question also related to unsubscribe. So if, let's say, a user, a lead unsubscribed from one of your emails or sequences, then that would mean that that user is unsubscribed from all of the emails. And yeah, so they won't get any other emails even if they are uploaded in another list, right? So hope this answers the question. Now you can see that our email is ready. I'll just check if there are some questions related to this, and then we'll move on. How to use, are we able to edit the verbiage of unsubscribe link? Yes, Jonathan, that is completely possible. Instead of click here to unsubscribe, you can say click here to uh, make me forget you, right? You can do this just like this. Any other questions? Are we able to use and create any custom variables we want? How would we do that? Jonathan, in the last step when I showed you that you can upload a lead list, and in that lead list you can add your variables. So there you can create your custom variables, add any custom data, just like I showed that this was done. So AA, I think that you misunderstood a bit. I did not paste the unsubscribe link. The way I added the personalized link is that now I have removed it. I clicked on these three dots. I clicked on unsubscribe link over here, and it is added automatically. I did not paste it, right? So this is how you can add the unsubscribe link, right? I can keep clicking on it and it keeps getting added. Okay. Spin tags, personalized image. I'm just going to look at the questions once and I'll answer all of them. Right. So over here, I see that some people are looking for AppSumo deal, like Ratish. So guys, you can reach out to our customer support by clicking on this bottom left, and we are still giving away the deal for a few more days. So feel free to reach out, and we'll help you out. right? So coming to spin tags first, let's see. We do have it covered in our help docs again. So I'll pick up the example from over there. So firstly, the answer is yes, you can use spin tags, right, in the email. So over here, how email templates and personalization, you'll find everything over here, how to use variables, how to use custom variables. There are default variables that can be used, like time of the day of the week, your meeting link, and so on. CRM variables are the variables that are pulled in from your CRM integration, which we connect with natively. So for example, we connect with HubSpot, Pipedrive, and Zoho CRM right now. Then there are fallbacks. So in case you do not have the first name, then this would be written. Then we have spin tags, right, wherein you can spin between multiple texts. I'll just copy this and I can paste it over here, and you can see that the spin tags is added, and in the email that would be sent, this one of these would be picked up. This is the or sign, and exact instructions on how to use this are mentioned over here as well. I'll just quickly share the link to this with everyone in chat, right? Jonathan's question is, what is a personalized image? Great question, Jonathan. So a personalized image is basically an image which has variables. So the way this would work is that I click on personalized image. Let's say I use this one, and then I add a text over here, and I can do something like hi first name, right? What would happen is that this is my email now, and when this keyword would be sent, just like first name would be inserted over here, the first name would also be inserted inside the image and creating a personalized image in that process, right? Okay, great. So moving on, now that our email template is set up, what we want to do is that we want to create a sequence out of it, right? So what you can do is you can click on create sequence with Blink GPT. Now, before we move on to that, you guys must be thinking that, okay, so Blink GPT has written uh, email for you, and this seems pretty similar to something like Chat GPT, right? And you are absolutely correct. So this is the same technology, but how Blink GPT is better than Chat GPT is because we have trained Blink GPT AI on almost 3 million emails now, which have received a reply and converted into a sale. While ChatGPT is great at writing a joke for you or writing a draft for you, but ChatGPT is more trained on general things instead of a specific thing. So Blink GPTI is the best for a specific thing like sending emails. And once you are happy with your email, you can also, if you are not, you can also use Blink GPTI to make the email more persuasive, expand it, shorten it, and so on. And once you are happy with this, whatever your subject line and email is, you can click on this button over here, create sequence with Blink GPT. When you hit this, Blink GPT AI will use this email as the first, consider this email as the first email and create follow-up emails and a complete sequence for you, as you can see over here. You can edit these, and each one of these would have some text written in them. So you can edit these. Over here, you can also see that in if some, there was this question that I would like to take now by Yuvraj, what are spam keywords? So Yuvraj, spam keywords are basically keywords that can trigger the spam filter of the email provider that you're sending and might make your email go to spam. So you can see over here that there are two spam keywords that exist in this email, like regarding and chance, but the score is still good. If your spam keywords increase, then you will have to remove them to ensure that your emails do not go to spam, and we check them for you and we give your emails a score over here. You can obviously write, so if I write free money and keep adding more keywords like that, you can see that this keeps getting added. And Yeah, I can personalize it even further. I can, bold it and so on. So all those options are available. I can, maybe I want to make this email longer, so I can expand this email further, right? So all this is completely possible with Blink GPT AI, right? If I want, I can also send a test email to myself to check how this would look like. I'll just discard this for now. And as you can see, my sequence is created. I can click over here to add a new block. So I can add a new cold email block, a task, add a wait time, which is basically a delay. So let's say I want to add a delay of 10 days after this. And I want to, after that, I want to add a cold email, right? So I can do that. I can add more on based on what Blink GPT has created for us. Once I'm happy with my sequence, I would need to add a lead source. So I can either add a lead source from a list, or I can create a segment of a list. So let's say I only want to send emails to people who attended the webinar. So webinar contains a yes. So I only want to send emails to them, so I can do that as well. So this is how you can use the sequence creator. Any questions regarding the sequence creator? I'll be taking right now, so feel free to ask if you have any. So So Spintax works in the subject line too. Yes, it absolutely does. Okay. So yeah, I think that these are mostly the questions that are related to the features right now. How does the sequence work when you get a reply? Yeah, okay, I see some other interesting questions as well. I'll just take them up after this next step. So once your sequence is ready, one more thing that you can do is that add an if else block. So the way it works is that, let's say you want to make sure that after an email gets a reply in the next 10 days, what you want to do is that you want to, if the reply is a yes within those 10 days, then you want to send this particular cold email as a new email. If you do not get a reply, then then you can send this email as a follow-up, another email as a follow-up. So with this, you can completely configure your flow, and you can configure this if else to be, instead of an email reply and open or click, or maybe you want them to click on a link and reply, sorry, and open the email. Based on that also, you can configure this, right? I saw a question regarding this. So yeah, a question by Kevin. Do you have plans to end auto reply? If they reply yes, will there be an auto reply? Unfortunately, Kevin, that we did brainstorm on this. I think we did get this request on our roadmap idea as well. But I don't think that we'll be able to add this for now, because we have all the data, right? We see millions of email replies come every day for a lot of our customers. In no case a lead would reply in yes or no format ever. They would write something completely random. So I don't think that this feature honestly would make much sense. Even if we add this, we can add this, but I don't think that this would be useful at all. Any other questions? Great. So how does the next question, how does the sequence work when you get a reply? Yeah, I will cover this right away. So once you are happy with your email sequence, as you can see over here, you can click on this button, save and schedule. You would be required to select your date, time, and the time zone on which you want to send the emails. So let's say I want to send it in, Los Angeles time. Yeah. I can just select this and I can say 11 a.m. I do not need to consider where I am sitting or in which country I am. I do not need to do all those calculations. I can simply say that at 11 a.m. Santiago time, which is the same as in California, Los Angeles, right? I can just select this, and based on that, the emails would be sent. There's this option to add random delays. What this does is that, and we touched upon this a bit while we were talking about email deliverability. What random delays would do for you is that between every email that is being sent, a random delay of, let's say, 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 9 minutes, 13 minutes would be added between 10 to 20. This makes sure that your emails are not sent all at once or are not sent in a periodic fashion, ensuring that your email deliverability is good and you are not considered as a spammer. Because again, if you're sending hundreds or thousands of emails in a single minute or two, then you would be considered as a spammer, right? Next, you can configure the sending hours and days, on which days you want to send the emails. What we have seen is that on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, we get the most replies and engagement in the emails that are being sent. So that's what we recommend. You can also, but depending on your use case, you might only want to send the emails on Saturday, Sunday, or maybe you want to send the emails 24/7. It completely depends on your use case, and you can customize SalesLink accordingly. Next up, you can select an email sender or multiple email senders basically. And what this would do is that when you are selecting multiple email senders, email sender rotation would take place. What this means is that what email sender rotation means is that, let's say you have 90 email addresses or leads added in your list and in the sequence, and you have 3 email senders connected. What SalesLink would do is that it would rotate between the emails that are being sent. So 30 emails would be sent from this, 30 from this second email, and then lastly 30 from this third email. What this basically means is that you can send more emails, and the chances of your emails being marked as spam also lower down, right? Because you are spreading out multiple email between multiple email addresses, right? Next up, you can add a BCC. So if you have a CRM which accepts BCC and adds them as activity, you can add that over here, and then it would be automatically added in your CRM. If you are not using a CRM, you can just skip this altogether. Next, review emails in outbox before sending. So if you select this option, you would have to go to the outbox, and I'll get to that as well, and approve the emails before they are sent. And here comes the answer to the question that was just asked. What will happen if someone replies? So you can select this option, and you obviously do not want to keep sending follow-up emails if someone replies, right? So you want to select this option over here, and then if you have selected this option, the sequence would automatically stop for the lead when they reply, meaning that they won't get any automated follow-up emails, and you would have the opportunity to reply to them manually on your own, because you almost never know what the lead would reply. They might reply in a positive way, they might reply in a negative way, or they might just ask for a few more questions before they want to hop on a call with you. So you would have to take it up from there, and you can use the inbox feature for that, which we'll come at again right now. Next option is to schedule for emails for all leads or only for a few leads. So if you select this, if you have used SalesBlink to verify the emails like I just showed you using the SMTP verification while uploading the list, then you can select this option to send emails to only valid, risky or invalid emails. On the other hand, if you are not using that, or you just don't care about the verification results, then you can schedule the email for all the leads, right? Lastly, there are a few tracking options. So you can track if someone opens your emails, clicks on links in your emails, or replies to your emails, or you can uncheck these to stop tracking these features, right? So this is mostly all about launching your sequence. Once you hit review, okay, I think the time I have selected has passed on. Yeah, I have selected the time in past, right? Yeah. Next review. Yeah, you can see that this is a page over here, and right. So now, if I hit schedule, my sequence would go off. Let me just see if I have. We have a few questions related to this. Can you set a sequence to remove recipients or leads after they've responded with a trigger word? No, John, this is currently not possible. Again, as I said that from our experience and from millions of replies that we have seen, even if we ask someone to reply with a trigger word, for example, unsubscribe me or yes or no, people usually won't reply to that. This is a great question by AA. On the screen you just showed, even though I'm sending from multiple addresses, can I set the reply address to one email that is different from my sending address? Yes, you can do that. There are two ways to go about this. One is that while you are connecting your email address, you can set your reply to address as something else, which will be common between all your email senders, right? Another way is to use our inbox feature, where you'll anyways get replies that you receive on all of your inbox at one place, which would ensure that you don't miss any of the replies. So there are two ways you can go about it. So Ashish has this question about sequences. Can you give some general sequence knowledge? So a sequence is basically a sequence of cold emails, right, which will be automated and follow-ups would be sent automatically. So with SalesBlink, you can easily set it up and yeah, send emails while you're sleeping probably. Peter has this question, what to do if someone replies? So Peter, as I mentioned, that when someone replies, you can check those replies and you can go ahead with following up with them or talking to them as per what the contents of the reply are. So Tom has this question, what are the plans for further development of these sequences? For example, being able to add more structure to what the AI personalizes. That is being able to add specific prompt for different section. Start of the email personalized to customer pain points, or second email for writing more of follow-up email rather than just a repeat of the first email. So currently, Tom, it is being done under the hood, right? But you can also do this right now as we speak. So if I just close this and if I just head back over here, yeah, so this is the first email that we wrote with Blink GPT AI, right? And it had spin tags and everything. We can head over to the second email, and maybe I want to, in my prompt, I can change it to be, write more about the pain point. So I want to sell this and focus on pain points only. So this is the second email that we're writing, and I can hit draft email. And over here, now you can see that pain points are being covered. So as you can see, each email in the sequence can be modified, like focus on the pain points, just follow up on the last email, and so on, depending on how you want to modify it. So this is possible already. Right? Okay, great. So I do see a few more questions, and I would be answering at them at the end of this training session. So yeah, as I was saying, moving on to the next section, and guys, keep your questions coming. I am going to answer all of the questions at the next section, which would be the Q&A section, right? So moving on to reports and improvements. So reports are very important, right? Otherwise you don't know how to optimize your sequences, if you're getting any ROI from them or not, right? So that's why we have put all our focus in adding as many types of reports as possible. Honestly, I'll just show you an example. So this is a sequence that has been sending some emails. As you can see, there were 7 leads, 15 emails have been sent, 5 open. So this gives you a quick glance with a chart that shows you, how many emails are being sent per day. You can also, update this chart and so on. You can see per email sender how many emails have been sent, and how many opens, clicks, replies. So per email sender, you can also see these stats. More importantly, now you can click on any of these. So let's say I want to see who are these 5 people in this sequence of mine who opened my email. So I can just click on this, and this brings me to the sequence log. So in my logs, I can see that these were the 5 email addresses that opened my email, right? I can, and we are over here now in reports and sequence logs. I can just close this off, or I can also check who clicked on a link. I guess I did not have any links. Email bounced, right? I can select this and I can see that these 3 were the bounce. I can download this report as well in an Excel file, or I can, keep going on. I just want to see who opened my emails, and that is also possible from over here, right? I want to change the sequence. I can do that. Right? As you can see, this email bounced, and then these emails opened my email. I can change these events, and I can see that this email is scheduled to be sent, and then this person clicked on a link as well, right? So yeah, this is sequence logs, this is sequence stats. What else? We have an email sending schedule for you, where you can see in a calendar format on which day how many emails have been sent and so on, right? So this is also possible. And finally, and one of our most useful report feature is stepwise stats. So what this means is that over here, you get stepwise stats. This many leads were there. First email was sent to these many leads. How many people clicked the first email? How many people opened the first email? Right? How many emails bounced at the first email, and so on. Post that, as you can see, also this also brings me to a point. As you can see that 7 leads were there and 3 emails bounced. That leaves us to only 4 leads. So second email was only sent to 4 leads, to ensure that bounced emails are not sent again, right? And yeah, you can see all these stats over here. Now how to improve your sequence. So if your emails have low open rate, right, you can check in the step-by-step stats, and let's say this email has a low open rate, then what I would need to do is that I would need to ensure that the email that is being sent has a great subject line, because no one is going to open your email if it has a bad or non-catchy subject line, right? If your emails are being sent but you are not getting any replies, then you would need to basically ensure that the body of your email is correct and your emails are landing in the inbox, right? Otherwise, if your email body or contents are not good, then no one is going to reply, even if they read your email, right? So these are a few tips to improve your outreach, right? Guys, feel free to ask any questions you might have. This was all you need to do to start your outreach. And I would be just going through the questions. We have about 20 questions over here, so I would be going through all of them. Okay, starting from the top, what is meeting domain and email tracking domain by Ganesh? So basically you can add your own custom domain with SalesBlink. If you want to mask or hide SalesBlink's domain, you can use, if you are using the meeting scheduler feature, which I did not get a chance to cover today, else this the training session would have gone for a few more hours, right? But you can connect your old domain and use the meeting scheduler feature to schedule meetings with your leads, right? And basically hide SalesBlink's branding. Can you show how the Pabbly Connect works and use case integrations with Pabbly Connect? Unfortunately, I won't be able to show it right now specific to Pabbly Connect, but I'll tell you how this works. So let's say you have a lead in your CRM, which would be your trigger. Based on that, you can create an action or Pabbly Connect, which would insert that lead in SalesBlink, right? And then automatically the emails would start going off for them. Another thing that you can do is that you can basically you can basically use triggers from SalesBlink. So let's say an email is opened in SalesBlink, that can be used as a trigger in Pabbly Connect, and it can you can add an action. Let's say that action is a Google Sheet or your CRM where you want to add that data. So that's how you can basically use the Pabbly Connect integration. Ratish has this question. Someone told me that I should not use my main domain for cold outreach. Instead, we should use another domain. Otherwise, our main domain can get bad reputation. Yes, Ratish, if you're just starting out, ideally you should not use your original own domain. You can buy another domain. It doesn't cost more than $10, right? The reason for this is that by mistake, if you send spam emails, right, your domain would get blacklisted and it would be considered very bad. So ideally, you should use another domain if you're just starting out and you do not have much idea of what you do, what you're doing or getting into, right? Okay, I see a couple of duplicate questions. So Nate says, if I have a subscriber or lead in multiple list and campaigns, okay, will that subscriber lead be removed from all campaigns if they unsubscribe? Yes, if they unsubscribe even from one outreach campaign, then they would not get any further emails from any of the sequence or lists, or even if you upload them in future, they would not get any email as such. Yuvraj asks, do you know good source from where we can find leads? So Yuvraj, this is a great question, but honestly, it completely depends on what kind of leads you're looking for. So for example, if you're looking for e-commerce leads, there are some different tools out there. If you're, let's say, looking for leads of local businesses, then you can use some Google map scraping tools. If you're looking for leads which let's say are using WordPress only or using Shopify only or using some other tool only, then you can use something like Built With. So you can, depending on what kind of leads you're looking for, you can search for the right tool for your purpose. So Jonathan has a great question. How do we filter warm-ups in the inbox and to keep it clean and not harm warm-up for SalesLink? So Jonathan, we have this covered in our help docs as well. All of the emails, warm-up emails that you get has a keyword hot blink, HOTBLINK in them. So you can create a filter in your Gmail, Outlook, or whatever email client you're using, and basically filter them out to not end up in your inbox and instead end up in that filter hidden from your view, and that would also not harm your outreach. So AA has this question. I bought AppSumo 7 codes, which was told by agency account will be upgraded. When will the agency dashboard would be released? So this is currently in development and we are testing this feature out, and this would soon be added in all the accounts where applicable. John asks if we can watch this replay. Unfortunately, John, as I think mentioned in the starting of this training session, that these are not recorded, but we do conduct one of these every week. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, or yeah, you can hop in anytime. Ashish asks, can I use a lead scraper to get leads and use SalesLink for sending emails? I have lead scrape. I do not honestly know about lead scrape. I haven't used it personally, but yes, that is completely possible. Ashish, you can use another tool, and you should use a great tool for lead scraping and then add those leads in SalesBlink, right? Peter has this question. I like your personalized image feature, but I thought images in cold email increase the spam score. Yes, Peter, they do. So that's why it's a hit and a miss, honestly. You should not overuse this. So you should not add any bulky images. Try to add light images, personalized images, which add a fun element. Also, let's say if you are sending hundreds of emails and you're not getting any recipient engagement, then definitely it's a bad idea. So the whole idea revolves around the recipient engagement, honestly, how many leads are replying to you. If you're getting good reply rate, then you can do all of those things like adding an image or adding links. But if no one replies to you, or maybe that can also be because your list is bad, your segmentation is wrong, you're sending it to wrong people, then it would increase the spam score again. As I shared in the beginning, when we were talking about email deliverability, recipient engagement is the thing that matters, right? If you're getting replies, you can do anything. If you're not getting any replies, then anything you do won't really work out. SP has this question: how do credit work on these GPT sequences? So honestly, SP, this kind of depends on which plan you're on and so on. I think this would be a great question you can ask to our support team. I won't be able to help you out with this over here. Jonathan has this question. I use personalized loons. Can I include these messages with an animated GIF they offer? Yes, Jonathan. You can. What you can do is that you can upload these GIFs in the CSV file and then embed these as an image in the email and add a link to them. So this is completely possible to do. Leon has this question. What are your thoughts on adding QR code in the body of the email, and will it be flagged as spam? As I said, it's not necessary that it would be flagged as spam if you are getting replies, right? But honestly, it does not make any sense to add QR codes in the body of the email, because most of times 90% of people would open your email on their phone anyway. So they do not have a means of scanning the QR code, right? Uh, most of the business people and anyone you're reaching out to check their email more frequently on the mobile phone. So it honestly is not a great idea, but I might be wrong. You can try it out. Okay, I see that there are a few more questions. Peter has this great question: which sending account providers have the best connectivity with SalesBlink? G Suite, Outlook, what? So, Peter, in our experience of seeing millions of emails go out, we have seen that Google Workspace, also known as G Suite, has the best deliverability. So we recommend you use that for, best, landing your emails to inbox. Jonathan has this question. I use a custom email signature. Can I copy and paste in the signature section or on SalesLink, or are there signatures text only? Yes, Jonathan, you can add any type of signature, HTML, GIF, images, anything works, links and anything. It's not text only signature. Leon asks, do you have a function to send multiple subject line per email until the email is opened? So Leon, we do not have this by default, honestly, but it is very simple to achieve. In the sequence that has been created, you can simply keep the subject line different while keeping the body of the email same, and you would achieve this same result. right? And I think the goal over here is to check if which subject line works best. And I think that you can completely do this test with SalesBlink. Tom asks, I mean, in terms of AI personalized sequences, not resistance. So if, for example, you're emailing 1,000 different companies and they all have different pain points. So just wondered that your plans are different in development. Yes, Tom, this is completely possible and we would be working on this. Great suggestion and question. Yuvraj says that can we use OpenAI API keys to draft the email? Yes, Yuvraj, some plans have this offer, so you can use your OpenAI API key. Okay. AA says, can you please provide a link to this recording? Unfortunately, we do not record these webinars, but we are soon coming up with videos on our YouTube channel to help you with all of these things. John asks, can you please repeat what you said about meeting domains? So John, basically, just like currently we have a feature which is called meeting scheduler. Okay. Using the meeting scheduler, you can, yeah, basically replace currently and add a custom domain to that meeting scheduler, like your own, like talk2.john.com, something like that. You can add your custom meeting domain. So that's what I meant. Leon has this question. Do you have any plans for high level integration? Leon, currently we do not have, but feel free to submit any suggestions or or ideas on our roadmap. And if it gets enough upvotes, we'll work on it. I have just shared the link to our roadmap on chat. Feel free to submit your ideas and we'll work on it if enough people upvote. Right? Peter has the same question. I have the same answer. Right? Ashish asks where to read email in SalesBlink inbox. Ashish, so any replies that you get would be received in your email client, for example, Gmail, Outlook, or whatever email sender you have connected. At the same time, yes, you can also use SalesBlink's inbox feature to check the replies that have been received, right? And yeah, that gives you a good option if you are using email center rotation or 5 email centers or 10 email or even 100 email centers. We have seen customers who are using thousands of email centers, right? So all of the emails are replies that are received land in the inbox of SalesBlink as well as your email client's inbox. SalesBlink's inbox gives you one place to check all your emails, right? Great. So I think that was the end of all the questions. Anyone has any other questions? Then we can wind it up in a next few minutes. George says, is there a SalesBlink documentation addressing burner emails topic? I'm not familiar with setting up burner emails. I understand their purpose, but do not know how to create them. Are these aliases to the domains email, or should we be independent from domain email to protect? So George, for those who do not understand what burner emails are, burner emails can be thought of as email addresses that you would just use them once and you don't care, what happens to them if they go to spam later on or whatever, right? So ideally you should not use burner emails, honestly. What you should rather do is that you should get a new domain and set up your email addresses on that domain. Maybe you don't care if that domain gets burned, but ideally your goal should be not to get your emails and domains burned or have their reputation lowered, because once you let's say you buy a domain today and the reputation is damaged or the emails are burned, right? Then you would have to buy another domain, which is not that expensive, I know, but the main expensive part would be that you would have to wait for a long time for the new email addresses to be warmed up and the reputation to increase if you are buying a new domain. So ideally for email outreach, you should not use burner emails is what we have seen. John has this question, will these sessions be held at the same time each week? So John, almost the same time, not exactly the same time. So we do keep switching between Wednesday, Thursday, and Tuesday every week. And do change times a bit, because if someone, let's say, has a gym appointment or some other appointment every week, so we want them to attend as well. So almost the same time, but you can check it on our website. Yeah. Great. Thank you, Tom, for your kind words. I'm happy that I was able to help you out. Ashish has another question. I am using SendFox for sending emails to from my domain. This is my main domain. My other domain newly purchased was domain Warmup. It has still 2 days for Warmup to complete. So can I use custom domain even though domain Warmup is still in process? Because of that, I'm using my main domain for FB leads. Ashish honestly did not understand much of this question, but you should ideally wait before your warm-up is complete uh, in order to start sending emails. So AA has this question: is there a Facebook or Discord group, or how do I reach to support quickly? You can, on every page on the bottom left, you'll see a chat icon. You can just hit on that and reach out to our support for any questions. Peter has this question: will you return to AppSumo in future? We do not, Peter, have any plans as of now, but let's see. Most likely not, right? So yeah. So I think that is all, and we are, yeah, done. Thank you everyone for joining, and in case again you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us via chat support on the bottom right of any page on SalesBlink. And John has this question: is there a member page located at SalesBlink? I'm not sure, John, what you mean by member page, honestly, but yeah. Okay. So as I was saying, thank you everyone for joining in, and we do these webinars for training every week. Feel free to join in next time. And after this session ends, you will get a feedback, ratings thing, kind of a thing that you get basically like after a Uber. So I would really appreciate if you can give a rating and give a feedback. That really helps us improve our training. Thank you everyone for joining in again. Have a good rest of your week. Bye-bye.